If you've ever worked on a Linux system, you know it's all about files. I mean, tons and tons of them. So if you're getting tired of clicking around trying to find things manually, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving into two absolutely essential tools, Wildcards and the Find command, that are going to make you a master of your file system. Seriously, just think about it for a second. Your machine is like this massive library with config files, log files, and scripts hidden all over the place. How in the world are you supposed to find that one specific file you need, like, right now? Clicking through directories is just not going to cut it. We need tools that are actually built for the job.
All right, so our first tool is a little different. It's not actually a command you run, but a super powerful feature that's built right into the command line shell itself. It's called file globbing, and it's your absolute go-to for quickly grabbing files based on patterns in their names.
So here's the magic behind globbing. When you type a command with one of these special wildcard characters, the shell actually jumps in before the command even runs. It takes your pattern, finds all the file names that match it, and then hands that complete list over to your command. It's kind of like having a personal assistant who gathers up all the right files for you. And the most famous wildcard, of course, is the asterisk. This thing is a total powerhouse. It matches any number of any characters. So like you see here, if you type lsc*.txt, the shell sees that asterisk and knows to find every single file that starts with a C and ends with .txt, no matter what's going on in the middle. Now, if the asterisk is like casting a huge, wide net, the question mark is more like a precision spear. It matches exactly one character, no more, no less. So a pattern like B/BT is perfect for nabbing three-letter files like bat, bet, and bit. But it would totally ignore a file named, say, beat, because that has two letters in the middle. And if you want to get even more specific, you can use brackets. These let you define your own custom set of characters to match in that one spot. So with a command like lsbeiot, you're telling the shell, hey, only find files where that middle letter is an E or an I or an O. It gives you this almost surgical control over what you're looking for. And remember, this isn't just for listing files with ls. Oh no, you can use these wildcards with pretty much any command. Need to back up all your configuration files? Bam, cp*.conf/backup/. Time to clean out all those temporary files cluttering things up? rm*.tmp. It is an incredibly fast way to manage whole groups of files at once. But what happens when matching by file name just isn't enough? You know, what if you need to find files based on how big they are, or when they were last touched, or who owns them? Well, for that kind of deep investigation, we need to call in the real expert, the file system detective, the find command. Okay, it's really important to get the difference here. Wildcards are a shell feature. They're quick, they're simple, and they're great for matching file names in the directory you're currently in. Find, on the other hand, is a completely separate program, a full-on utility. It can dig through entire directory trees, and it can filter files based on dozens of different things, not just the name. So here's your basic find toolkit. You tell it where to start searching, and then you give it tests. You can use name to search for a file name pattern. You can use type to look specifically for files, that's F, or directories, that's D. And you can get super specific, searching by size, like files bigger than a gigabyte, or even by modification time, like any file that's been changed in the last hour. Now, this is a super important detail. You gotta get this right. When you use a wildcard pattern with the find command's name option, you absolutely must put that pattern inside quotes. Why? Because you want to stop the shell from touching it. You need to pass the literal pattern.starlog to the find command itself, not a list of log files from your current directory. If you forget the quotes, it just won't work the way you expect. The real magic of find is when you start stacking these tests together. Think of it like a funnel. In this example, we're telling find to look in the /temp directory. First, we filter for only files with -type F, and then from that smaller list, we filter it again for files that are bigger than 100 megabytes using -size plus 100M. This is just perfect for jobs like hunting down and cleaning up huge old files that are eating up your disk space. So finding files is one thing. That's super useful. But the real game changer with Find is when you realize you don't just have to look at the list of files it gives you. You can actually do things with them. And this is where Find goes from being a search tool to a full-blown automation engine. With an option called exec, you can run basically any command you want on the files that it finds. For instance, you could find every single .temp file on your system and automatically delete them. The syntax looks a little funny. exec rm curly brackets semicolon. But all it means is, for every file found, that's the curly brackets, run the rm command on it. Simple as that. Okay, you can probably guess that mixing a powerful search tool with a destructive command like rm means you need to be really, really careful. A tiny little typo can have some pretty big consequences. So let's talk about how to use these amazing tools safely and responsibly. Let's go over the classic mistakes, the traps everyone falls into. First, forgetting the quotes with find, which lets the shell get involved and gives you really weird results. Second, and this is a big one, using a command like rm with a broad wildcard without double-checking what it's going to match. That is a recipe for a very bad day. And finally, just forgetting that fundamental difference. Wildcards are the shell, find is a utility. They play by totally different rules. So here it is, your mandatory safety checklist. Just 3 simple steps. Number 1, before you ever use a command like rm with a wildcard, test that exact same pattern with ls first to see what it's going to grab. Number 2, when you're building a find command with an action like -exec, always run the search part by itself first. Make sure that list of files is exactly what you think it is. And number 3, use the interactive flag. rm-i will stop and ask you for confirmation on every single file. It is your ultimate safety net. So let's wrap this all up. Wildcards are your quick and dirty tool for simple file name matching right where you are. Find is your heavy-duty detective for those really complex searches that go all over the file system. Both are absolutely essential, but you have to respect their power. Always, and I mean always, test your commands before you do anything destructive. So there you have it. You now have the toolset to navigate your file system like an absolute pro. No file can hide from you now. You can find things, manage them, and even automate tasks with real precision and confidence. The only question left is, what are you going to organize first?